Hi, second graders. We are back in lesson 9 again, and today we're going to be looking at pages 82 and 83 in your instruction book. So you can go ahead and have that ready, but we're going to get started on page 82. 82 basically is giving us a problem, and then we're just going to talk about different ways that you could go about solving the problem, okay? And we're not going to really get into any writing until we look at the next page. So for now, we're just going to focus on page 82 in the instruction book. And the first thing that we always do is read our problem and make sense of it. So I'm going to read the problem. It says, Todd plays a game. The table shows his points. And we have level 1, and for level 1 we have a question mark, so maybe he forgot to write down his score during his level 1 game. But then we see level 2, it looks like he scored 16 points during that part of the game. And then we have a total, and his total was 55 points. So it says, how many points did Todd get in level 1? And that's our question. So we're going to just take a look at that and think about that. And do you suppose that they want us to find the total amount? Are they asking us to find the change, like how much did the first score change to get the total? Or are they wanting us to find the start? How did this problem start? So that's the question we have to think about. And I think if you really examine it, it looks to me like the start is the part that we don't know. What did he start? What was his number that he started with? 16 points represents how much that starting number changed, and then 55 points is, of course, our total. Okay, so this problem is trying to get us to find the answer to the starting point. So now when we take a look at their first example, this is, remember I said that they're going to show us different ways we could solve this problem. Well, the first thing they would like for you to do is to picture it. In other words, draw a picture of a bar model and plug in all those numbers where you know they need to go. So we always know that our largest number, our total, goes at the top of a bar model, and then that total is made of two different parts, okay? And so those two parts at the bottom of the bar model, if we added those together, we could get the total. So remember, we decided that we don't know what the starting number is, so that's where you put your question mark at the start. And how much did it change? Well, we know that to that starting number we add 16 more points, and when we add those two together, we're going to get the total. So when you picture or draw a picture of a bar model, that's what you would be drawing. Okay, then the other methods have you using equations to solve the problem. So they're showing us two different ways to make an equation to solve that problem. So the first one is to use an addition equation. So we know two of our numbers. Two of our numbers are the total of 55 and our change, the level 2 score, was 16. And so then the question mark, which would be our starting number, that goes there. So our addition equation would be question mark plus 16 equals 55. So that's the addition equation that they're showing that we could use. And as we know, with fact families, we could also turn it into a subtraction problem. And a subtraction problem, a subtraction equation, always begins with the total number first. So we always start with our large number. We would subtract the number that we know, which would be the change, or 16, and then our answer would be our unknown, which we're going to find out. Okay, so those are two different equations that we could use to solve the problem. Now, something I'm wondering, you know, I really like to use the counting up strategy, and I like to make the open number lines where I'm adding up and counting up. But if I don't know this number here, if I don't know where to start using this equation, is there another way I could make this an addition equation that I could actually do counting up and maybe do my number line? How could I change this addition equation so that I would have a starting place? And I think that you all told me I could just turn it into 16 plus my question mark equals 55. And if that's what you were thinking, you are correct. We know in fact families that we can just take the two smaller parts and flip them around. Instead of question mark plus 16, I can do 16 plus question mark. And I'm still going to get the correct answer that will add up to 55. So I could definitely do that. And in the same respect, if I wanted to do an open number line and show subtraction, I could do 55 minus I don't know how many, which would leave me 16. And I could do my number line this way and make sure my 16's down there and my 55 is up here, and then I could do my subtraction that will get me to 16. Okay, so that's what this equation could show. All right, so now we're going to move on to the next page, and this is where you will be doing some writing. So we're going to take a look, and now we're looking at page 83. And at the top of 83 it says to look at the picture it. What does the question mark mean? Remember, they're talking about this other page, this picture it, the bar model. What does the question mark mean, or what does that question mark stand for? Okay, what does that question mark mean? Well, we know that that is our unknown number. That's our unknown amount that he scored in level 1, right? So that's what we're going to write. The question mark is the unknown number, and the boy's name was Todd, so we'll go ahead and write his name. The question mark is the unknown number Todd scored in level 1. And I ran out of room, and you probably will too, but that's okay. You can just kind of squeeze it over there at the end. Remember, since this is a video, you can pause this as many times as you need to catch up on your writing. But because it's a video, I'm going to move on. All right, number 3 says, look at the second model it. Write a different subtraction equation that you could use to solve the problem. Oh my goodness, I think I already did that. When I looked at the second model it, which is this one, okay, it says write a different subtraction equation that we could use. See, they did 55 minus 16 equals question mark. Remember, I went ahead and did that for us. So our new equation is 55 minus question mark equals 16. So it's 55 minus question mark equals 16. And now it wants you to solve the problem from the previous page. Show your work on the open number line and then write your answer. So they're giving us a number line. You are going to use that number line to solve this equation. You're either going to show 55 minus question mark equals 16, or 55 minus 16 equals question mark, or you could do a counting up where you start with 16 and add the unknown number and get to 55. Okay, so those are your choices. I want you to pause the video and I want you to go ahead and solve this problem in your book, and then we'll come back and see if you had the same thing that I did. Go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, I hope that you solved the problem using the number line. Some of you may have done subtraction on your number line, and some of you may have done like I did and went with the counting up or addition strategy. And it doesn't really matter which way you did it as long as you got the correct answer. So we know that when we're using a number line, we're always going to add whatever the numbers were at the top of our jumps, how many we added in our jumps. Okay, so that's how we get our final answer, and we know that 30 plus 4 plus 5 equals 39. So Todd got 39 points for level 1 is the answer to that one. All right, so in this talk about it, it says, how did you make your number line in problem 4? And what is another way to find the answer? So you may have done counting up like I did. If you did, you're going to write about it. You're going to tell me what number you started with, how much you jumped the first time, then the next time, then the last time. Explain it in words how you went about solving the problem. If you did a subtraction number line, you would write in words, I started at number 55 and I hopped back this many and got here. Use your words to explain how you solved the problem the first time. Then we also have to write another way that we could have found the answer. So you have two jobs here on number 5. First, tell me how you did your number line, and then tell me another way you could find the answer. So pause the video and do your writing. You have a lot to write. You might want to go ahead and give yourself an extra line for doing your writing, but go ahead and pause the video and start your writing. Okay, I hope you have finished writing all your words. Whew, that was a lot of words. I shortened mine up a little bit. So anyway, hopefully you were able to put into words how you solved your problem. And some of you maybe solved it differently than I did. But as long as you wrote down how you went about solving the first problem and then another way that you could have solved the problem, then I think that you probably did a great job. All right, so we're going to move on to the very last thing in this lesson, and we're going to do problem number 6. It says Matt had 72 sports cards. Then he got more cards. Remember in our earlier lessons, that is not a number, is it? More cards? That's our question mark right there. Now he has 90 cards. How many more cards did Matt get? Show your work. All right, well, let's go ahead and circle what we know. We know that he started out with 72 cards. He got more cards to add to that, and when you add those two numbers, we get 90. So before you solve the problem, let's come over here and we're going to make a bar model, and we're going to show that we have a total of 90, and 90 is our total, so it goes at the top. We start with 72, and then our more cards that we add to that is the question mark. So now you're going to pause the video and you are going to solve this problem, get your answer, and then unpause and see if we both have the same things. Pause the video now. Okay, I hope you guys came back with the answer, and I found out that the answer was 18. So the more cards that he got was 18. So I did an adding up on the number line. That's my favorite thing to do. So I started at 72, and I knew my next 10 that I wanted to get to was 80. And 72 plus 8 more get me to 80. And then I just had to get to 90 after that. So 80 plus 10 more equals 90. So then I just had to add my 8 plus my 10, and I put that over here. 10 plus 8 is 18 cards. So I know that the change amount, the number that was added to the 72, was 18. And I hope that you got the same answer. So until the next time, have a wonderful day. Bye.